sir. We are starting to stream. All right. What's up, y'all? Me and the boys are back. Welcome to the Cheat Seats podcast. We got me, Chandler, Chan Man. Shout out to Chandler Bing. We got Mac, big Celtics fan, bars. And we got my boy Icy. My fault.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Mac?
I don't know what I'm saying. Bars.
I mean, come on, you know I gotta bring it. But well, right now on the screen we got a little NCAA basketball. We got San Francisco at Pepperdine. You know, the big matchup of the night. Just kidding. Only the real ones are watching that. But how are y'all doing? How y'all doing on this late podcast night, episode 11? By the way, I don't know if I mentioned that or not.
Yeah, tired. Work sucks.
Yeah, I'm just chilling.
Well, that's good. That's as long as y'all boys are doing good, you know. But boys, we got a big game coming up, and it's not San Francisco and Pepperdine. It might be a team from San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah, it might be. It might just be this really grainy picture that you guys can see on the screen right now, for all the viewers, which is at 0 right now. It is San Francisco and the Kansas City Chiefs. So let's talk about it.
Who could have predicted such a thing?
I mean, coming in, I personally never would have thought you'd have the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers, personally. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how you feel.
I don't know. I had a gut feeling since like probably early January that this is where we're gonna end up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Icy, did you see any of these teams making it? I mean,
I kind of see San Fran made.
no, I mean, weren't they both the preseason favorites? I mean, for their respective conferences.
Preseason, yeah, I think for Kansas City. I'm not sure that. I think the Eagles are probably the preseason favorites for the NFC.
That makes sense.
San Francisco can flaunt that. You know, they're trying to pull the underdog thing, even though they're favorites in this game. I'm telling you, man. 2022 Georgia did irreversible damage.
Yes, sir.
To sports culture with that 7-5 talk.
7-5. They said we were 7-5. Come on. I mean, you gotta respect it. I mean, it worked.
Oh.
Gotta respect it. But no. So first things first. We won't go to straight predictions yet, but actually, you know what? Let's do it. Actually, we got to talk about the last few games because we haven't potted since then. Potted is a crazy word.
Insane.
So first game, we'll start off with, I guess, first game of the day. It was Chiefs and Ravens. So, Icy, what did you think about the Ravens offense in that game?
I think somebody paid them some good money on the table to stray away from what they do best, the game of purpose. That's my whole theory of it.
I mean, they played like it. I mean, you're exactly right.
They ran the ball. Their running backs touched the ball 6 times. They ran the ball 6 times that whole game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it
which
was
is crazy.
Yeah, it was like at halftime they had was it Gus Edwards? He had like what two touches, 3 touches, whole first half, and they're a running team.
Crazy. I think that was the biggest game of Lamar's career, and I think a lot of people was in his head. So I ain't gonna get on Lamar too much. I know a lot of people did, and he deserved the right to take blame. But you can tell, like he was trying to force the issue too much with the passing game, and I do think they got out coached too. But I mean, the second half, like your defense shut out, lights out performance, bro. And Zay Flowers, he made a rookie mistake when the Taunton penalty, because I think they were at the 15. And it moved them back to at least the 30 or like the 40, I want to say. And then he fumbled the ball at the goal line. Yep. And, you know, some coaches, I I don't really coach it to my kids, but a lot of coaches say, yo, don't dive at the goal line because good cornerbacks will punch the ball out. And kudos to Snead. He peanut punched the ball out.
Big Legarius.
I mean,
Yep.
he made such a good play. Like I could, but whenever that happened, I was watching it downstairs, and I was just like legit, like for like a minute and a half. I didn't know whether to be mad, whether to be upset, because I wanted the Ravens to win. Because I mean, speaking of their poor offense, their offensive coordinator is from Georgia, and I wanted him to get a three-peat, and clearly he didn't want to get a three-peat, so he wanted to get maybe 3 points.
And then they was in field goal range.
Thank you, Jakey.
Times,
Thank you, Jakey.
and they was only down 7.
Appreciate
I want to
you,
say,
man.
or 3, or something like that. And the Lamar pick, when he forced the issue, he forced it into a triple team. I know people want to,
How you doing tonight, Jakey?
people want to say like, oh, where's the flag there? He's a backup tight end. Likely he's good, but he's not getting that whistle. He's just not.
Yeah.
You can try to twerk for the flag all you want to. It's not happening.
Well, there
Ain't
was.
gonna give
I saw some tweet earlier in the week that said that Isaiah Likely is what Kyle Pitts was supposed to be, and I was like, "Oh, really?
That's brutal.
Really?
That's brutal.
He's supposed to be tight end too? It's crazy."
crazy.
All right.
But it was. I think somebody definitely was in Lamar's head. Maybe multiple people. But I mean, he still had a good season. I mean, a lot of people was calling that Ravens team, which is crazy, a super team, when their wide receiver 1 was a rookie. So he got, he's gonna build off of it. Right now, I would have him at least a top 3 quarterback still. He probably would have been a number 2 if he would have got the job done all the way through. Go out, win the Super Bowl on Sunday. But I mean, we're gonna talk about this later down the road, maybe in the off season or anything like that. But right now, Mahomes is like the sun, and all the other quarterbacks are like the planets, and everybody revolves around Mahomes. And one reason we look at like Joe Burrow so highly is because he had that one Super Bowl run and lost, but he beat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And we gotta see, all right, who is the next quarterback to like beat Mahomes in the playoffs? Brady done it, Burrow done it. Burrow's the only active quarterback right now, so Lamar had the best chance in my eyes. The Bills, I still want to say they still Josh Allen reliant, even though they made strides of getting away from that. We're gonna see how I think Jim Harbaugh. We're gonna see. I think they're like 2 to 3 years away.
Yo, what's up, Josh? How you doing?
Especially Herbert.
How you doing tonight?
See
You got
how
work?
see how he's gonna do. But right now, like that's the biggest question. Like, who's gonna take down Mahomes?
Yeah. I really thought that the Ravens had a good chance. I mean, I thought their defense played pretty good, given the fact that they had, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce out there just playing backyard football, doing the craziest things you've ever seen. But even then, I mean, I thought they played well enough to win the game, but their offense, Todd Monken especially, just decided to not show up to work that day. And JC said, "Lamar, save us," in the chat. So, yeah. He didn't save me.
Those edits were insane.
Dude, the edits were better than the offense. I mean, it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But, Mac, what did you think about the game? What did you think about the Ravens' lack of offense?
It's not really. Honestly, as much as I love Lamar, I mean, I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I don't know. I guess Andy Reid must be a friend of the show after I've been calling him the GOAT head coach, because the Chiefs basically went up. They scored the magic number, which is over 13 points in the first half. They scored 17, and they basically said, "We're good," and they basically played some prevent offense, trying to run some dink and dunk with Mahomes. Uh, I mean, it was pretty basic, pretty vanilla, nothing too crazy. Uh, but yeah, no, the Ravens. I mean, again, it just looked like the lights were just too bright.
Hmm.
They
They just
had. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, their defense, which by the way is a top 3 scoring defense in modern NFL history in the postseason, did an outstanding job.
The ad mentioned a half bath?
Yes.
I mean,
You
they're
know what?
I don't know why it was ever in question that they weren't like a top 3 unit, but I don't know. Some people didn't think so, and yeah, no, but shout out to Spags, man. Spags has really
Spags
been
masterclass.
he's really been like that guy in big game situations as far as defensively goes. Even go he's not a good head coach, but he's a great defensive coordinator. Even shoot, people probably don't even realize that he was the defensive coordinator that shut down the 2007 Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like he's been at it for a while, and I'm glad that he's finally getting the credit that he deserves after
difficulty
kind of a
demands a
disastrous tenure with the Rams when he was a head coach.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything really new that I could really bring to the table besides the fact that like the Ravens for sure choked this game. This was definitely a winnable game. Uh,
I wouldn't say
I mean,
choke. Hold on. I wouldn't
oh
say
no,
choke.
oh no, they definitely
I
choked.
think their offense did.
Home team set. You're telling me if I were to tell you that the Ravens shut the Chiefs out in one half of football, do you think that the Ravens would win? If you didn't know the score, that's all you knew was they shut them out in the second half. I mean, you you'd have to tell me that you think that the Ravens won the game.
Yeah, but it's not a choke.
I mean,
I,
crazy enough, both teams got shut out for a half of football. The Ravens got shut out from the second and the third quarter, and then the Chiefs got shut out the second half of the game. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
shoot. Damn. Also, not enough blame going around for for Blodell Bacon Jr. What did he have? Like 2 catches? Didn't that guy got paid $15 million a year for what? 35 receptions all year? Stop.
Blowdale.
Guy was stealing Zay Flowers fantasy points. Like, get out of here.
No, JC said, "Did I not come on this podcast last episode and say that if you stop Lamar, you stop the Ravens dead in its tracks?" He did.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they're
I
a
mean,
more
Lamar's a centerpiece though.
yeah
He
they're
stopped the centerpiece.
they're
He stopped everything.
they're a more complete version of the Bills offense. Honestly,
Yeah. Well,
their
especially
offensive line is better.
yeah, especially how they were trying to use the run game too. I mean,
Yeah, and
And
Lamar just wanted to be. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with Lamar in these big games. I don't know why. I don't know if somebody needs to like, take him aside and be like, just be you. Like you don't have to be Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. Oh yeah. Also, don't actually no, it's a terrible idea. Nobody tell him to be Peyton Manning. Don't tell him to be Peyton Manning in big games.
well,
But it,
I had saw like during the game, like he had if y'all remember, he had that breakaway. He could have like I know a couple years Lamar that would have been for 6, but he looked back and tried to stiff arm. I think it was Snead, and I was like, bro, if you keep running, like Snead is not catching you. And then there was other times to where it's like he had rushing lanes and he just didn't take them at all. That's why I said when Chan asked me the question, I was like, yo, I feel like somebody was trying to get in the head or was getting ahead of him and was saying like, yo, win the game passing. Like, no, just do you, bro.
mm,
just win the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, just win the game. And also shout out to Spags. A lot of people like they just think like Lamar was like shitting himself when if you pay attention to the game, Spags did something to where a couple like how I put it, you will see a couple times in like playoffs, like here and there, not rarely, but he did some ballsy shit and he was sending so in a zone blitz and the Steelers was popular for this back in the day with Troy and them.
I
When you
got you,
throw a
JC.
zone
Hold on.
blitz out, you usually have like they call it a weak dog blitz, to where your weak side linebackers are blitzing, and then that safety's coming over to take that spot. Probably coming in late. What Spags did was he didn't really have the safety come over. He was just like, "Yo, we have McDuffie and we have Sneed. We're going to man up," and he just basically said, "Yo, we're going to strong side blitz him and we're going to weak side blitz him." You usually do that in a zone blitz, but you don't want to. You like it's really ballsy to do it in man. You're basically saying like, "Yo, we trust our cornerbacks to give up nothing over top." And later in the game, I felt Lamar like he took a couple shots down the field to OBJ, trying to draw a flag, and Lamar was throwing the ball a little tad bit with a little bit more power, but like he kind of like figured it out, but it was just too little, too late. So it was definitely a Spags masterclass, bro. I haven't seen that defense in a long time.
Hmm.
That's some shit you run in Madden.
Yeah. JC, he asked, he said, why did Baltimore just abandon the run game? He said, the Gus Bus had, he said 10 carries when he actually only had 3 for the game. Like, that's crazy to me that Zay Flowers had as many carries as Gus Edwards. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's on the
it.
OC.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you get down early.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between great teams and championship teams. Championship teams don't usually abandon what gets them there.
They don't panic.
Like and the Ravens just panicked. Like they haven't been down often at all. Like this season. I mean, it's a credit to them. They were a great team in the regular season and they stomped the Texans. But
I mean, if you
when you go up against when you go up against a team of the caliber of the Chiefs, you really gotta play. You always gotta play to your strengths. You always gotta try to make the other team play to your strengths. And it seemed like once the Chiefs in like the first quarter slash like first 5 minutes of the second quarter, they were kind of going up and down the field. They panicked and they had no idea what to do.
Yeah, I mean, and also if you think about it, if you think about Todd Monken over the past 3 years, he hasn't. He hasn't been down. Like he went a whole year without losing a game.
Yeah,
he came to the Ravens. They were so explosive. The year before, he lost one game. He lost a random, number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young. I mean, so he hadn't been like that. So he panicked. And I will say, in 2020, I mean, there were some apparent problems. Now, obviously, that was Stetson's first year starting, but again, it was just certain stuff, like certain things that came apparent in the game against the Chiefs. I mean, it was kind of the same, maybe not the same, but like just problems that you'd seen before. If you'd watched Georgia football, if you'd watched from that 2020 season, Shoo. Rough times. But I think we covered everything on that game. Shout out to the Chiefs, by the way.
Yep.
All right. And then let me pull up the next game, which was the 49ers and the Lions, which was a much more exciting game. Offensively.
Now this is what I
Tale of
call
two
a
halves.
choke job.
Oh yeah.
That game is what I call a choke job. Respectfully,
Mhm.
I got love for the city of Detroit, but just call it how you see it, bro. That's a choke job.
Mm-hmm.
Objectively, it was a choke job, but a lot of people have been calling cap, but I had no doubt that the Niners are going to win. Zero doubt at all that that Detroit was going to hold that lead.
I still can't believe they blew it. Honestly. Shout out to them though.
And that game, and we like it was definitely a tale of two halves. I will say this though, I'm always. I mean, I had a head coach. We had a head coach, Riverboat Ron. He would go on fourth down, but he was smart with it, and he also knew he had Cam Newton on his side. My fault. I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't even do this shit in Madden. But if you have an what was the score? It was like you didn't need to go for on fourth down. Just take the extra points.
Yeah,
The
he was.
team is on a run, bro. They're right up to you, and you see that your offense isn't executing. Take the points and play good defense, bro.
It
Oh,
was
they were
because-
down. They were down 3 at that point.
yeah, it was 27-24, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Take the 3, and then trust your defense. Now, obviously, like that fourth down play, you had Jared Goff going out to the right, trying to make a play. He couldn't outrun the guy, so he's trying to throw the ball. But you got as a head coach, bro, you got to understand the momentum of the game and how the game is feeling. Take the 3 points, play good defense. You got they had at least 2 timeouts, I want to say. Try to hold them to a field goal. But if they and I wish more teams would do this, but if you see the offense is on the roll, bro, and you can't stop them, just let them score.
Hmm.
Play the clock, bro. I swear to God, bro. Madden heads have better clock management than like some of these head coaches. I'm like, bro, anytime I know I have one or 2 timeouts left and the team I'm going against is like just absolutely dominating me on this possession, I'm doing everything I can to push them into the end zone or just let them score, bro. I would have done that shit. But obviously they didn't, and I kind of feel sorry for them, bro. It's like damn, like you did everything right, and then you took a gamble. But it's like, you know, that's why the Super Bowl in Vegas, bro. Like, look at the theme of it, bro. It's a gamble. It's a risk.
Yeah. Well, my thing too was whenever they were trying to score that touchdown at the end of the game, I didn't understand why they were trying to go for that. Because if they if they kick the field goal with like what was it 2 minutes or something like that left, then they would have had. I think they could have got it before the 2 minute warning, and then they would have had a 2 minute warning, 3 timeouts, and the 49ers would have had to score. They could have kicked a normal kickoff and tried to play. Just square up and try to play your best defense. I mean, at least give yourself a chance. But instead, they wanted to score a touchdown, have a minute and a half left or something around that, have 2 timeouts, and then they can just run the clock out. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. You're giving yourself worse of a chance. It doesn't matter if you lose by 3 or if you lose by 14. You still lose. You still don't get a trophy. I mean, it didn't make sense to me, personally.
Hey, you got to get the onside kick anyways, and that's nearly impossible.
Well, not if they would have just kicked the field goal, because they'd have had 3 timeouts and a normal kickoff. So they could have just called timeouts, and I think they had the 2 minute warning too. I could be wrong about that.
No,
it might have been at a minute.
I think they only had 2 timeouts.
Well, no, they called one during they're trying to score a touchdown. I think they called one before that 4th down. Because remember they tried to run it in
did.
on the 3rd down. So it made no sense. I was so confused. It made no sense. But Mac, how'd you feel about the game?
Honestly, I didn't get to see the first half. I only got to watch the second half. And honestly, again, it was kind of like I can't even really say it was like experience versus inexperience in a way, because there were just like one thing that sticks out, which like I still can't. I don't know how Brandon Ayuk caught that pass. Like that is like, I don't know. Brock Purdy's already got Eli Manning luck, which is insane. There were certain instances where it's like the Niners, just that the championship game experience really kind of kicked in for them. It never really didn't really seem like they panicked at all, which is really good. I don't know. It's just I didn't get to watch much of it except for the last 5 minutes, so I can't really comment on much. So, because I want to give a good good summary, but like I'm missing about 55 minutes of game action. So
Well, I do hate for the fact of Jared Goff that he's going through the Matt Ryan experience of losing a Super Bowl, choking a big game like the NFC Championship game. Tough scene. All he needs is an MVP, and then he'd have the Matt Ryan experience. I mean, tough scenes. At least he's got a couple more years. Well, I'd say more than a couple, but not for me. It like I think, or well, you just said it, the whole luck thing. But I mean, at the same time, we can call it luck. But the 49ers made those plays. I mean, they had that fumble, the fumble recovery after they scored a touchdown to then have. I think that was the start of their unanswered run portion of the game, or unanswered point portion of the game. But I mean, it's shout out to the 49ers playmakers. I mean, they did what they had to do in the second half. First half, they were terrible. The second half, they did everything they could. They made every play possible. From the start of the second half to like the third quarter, they played like a perfect football game. For that quarter, they played a perfect quarter of football. They had turnovers. They scored. They did everything right. It was awesome. It was cool to watch. I mean, it was. Maybe not cool because I didn't want them to win. You know, I wanted Detroit to win to make their first Super Bowl. But, you know, it was still, I guess from a unbiased fan perspective, it was really cool to watch. But shout out to the 49ers. Icy, you got anything to add before we move on? I know you went first. So I don't know if you had anything else to say.
Oh, we're gonna get into that. Well, I was gonna say when we talk about this matchup, the Super Bowl matchup.
All right. So now we got the NFC winner, the AFC winner, the 49ers, the Chiefs. Bang, bang, Niner gang, whatever the Chiefs say. I don't know. They do the chop. So I'll do that.
they robbed Banks too. Can't forget.
Hey,
I got a question for y'all.
What's up?
For this game right here, which two units to y'all are going to be the most important on the field? The Chiefs offense, Chiefs defense, 49ers offense, 49ers defense.
Honestly, what it comes down to is going to be the Chiefs defense against the Niners offense, because the Chiefs defense has shut down quarterbacks that are way better than Brock Purdy. Like, I don't think that's a stretch to say. I think it's because we know what we're going to get from the Niners defense, and we know what we're going to get from the Chiefs offense. I think those two units, I think, are pretty solidified. Actually, no, it more comes down to the Niners offense and how Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan can game plan. Because if Brock Purdy has the type of first halves that he's been having these past two rounds, like the Chiefs are going to bulldoze them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Chiefs' defense is probably the most important because, I mean, they won that game 2 weeks ago. Personally, I think they flat out won that game. So if they can replicate that, if they're able to, I don't think they'll do it on the same level just because of how lethal that offense is, especially on the outside. But I think if the Chiefs' defense can play a game like they had against the Ravens, and then I don't want to say the 49ers defense is the top two unit because the Chiefs offense is going to get theirs at some point. Whether I know they only scored 17 last game. I think the Ravens defense is great and it's hard to score points against them. So I know it'll be boring, but I'm going to say the same thing as Mac. It'll all come down to how the Chiefs defense is against that 49ers offense. That's going to be the biggest part of the game.
I think Oh man, I want to say the same thing because it's going off what Mac has said. I'll be looking at Brock Purdy, especially the last game against Detroit. He got now the 49ers. If we take a look at it, let me run down. I'm gonna ask y'all. I'm gonna ask y'all who got the better group, who got the better skill position. Just tell me 49ers or Chiefs. All right,
But
Skill
quarterback.
position. Quarterback is Chiefs, obviously.
yeah, Chiefs.
Running back.
Running back, it's Niners.
Yeah,
I mean, Christian
49ers.
McCaffrey.
All right, wide receiver room.
Oh,
49ers.
it's Niners easily. I don't know why I almost said Chiefs. My
I
bad.
was like, whoa.
Thinking I had CT. I thought
I
Tyreek
was
Hill
like,
was
JC's
back.
gonna come through this screen.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs, but
Well, hey, it's
George
close.
Kittle's awesome too.
Kinda.
All right, O line.
O-line, honestly,
Can you give it
I'd
without
go.
Thuney? Can you give it as a toss up? I mean,
I'd give it to the Chiefs for the simple fact that Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen at avoiding sacks, and that helps mitigate like bad to average O-line play. Because like if the injury report didn't come out that Tooney wasn't playing, would you have noticed that he wasn't on the field?
No.
Exactly. And honestly, the Niners are a Trent Williams injury from like being a disaster.
yeah.
Chan, you saying for Chiefs too?
I said more of a toss up just because I mean I think they're both great, and to Mac's point, with how Mahomes is the best he's ever seen in avoiding sacks, Brock Purdy has done pretty good at avoiding sacks. I'll say he getting outside the pocket and making plays. I know he's not a game changer or what versus whatever the
Game
thing-
changer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he made some good plays in that 40 or in the Lions game. I'll say that. So I'll just give it as a toss up.
Okay. D line.
D-line, oh my goodness, this is tough. God, wow, this is
I mean, do you
really
just go toss
tough,
up? I mean,
and it's.
or do you just go
I
toss up?
think I gotta give it to the Niners by a hair. The only reason why to me it's a toss up is because Chris Jones is just that guy in the playoffs. But I mean, the Niners pass rushers are ridiculous.
If Chase Young is walking like he was in that one play that I saw on Twitter, then I'll give it to the Chiefs just for that. But
Oh my
hey,
god.
the Ohio State way.
Yeah.
Cornerbacks.
Cornerbacks Chiefs easily.
Yeah.
Special teams.
Special teams, probably the Chiefs just because Butker's way better than Moody.
Yeah.
I mean,
you said special teams, and I was thinking, Kadarius Toney or Debo Samuel, but Kadarius doesn't even do their punt returns. It's whatever the guy's name is, James.
Yeah, it's the guy that came over from the Giants.
Yeah, I'll go.
It's Richie James.
Yeah, I'll go Chiefs because same reason. Kicker. Shout out Debo though. I feel like
So
sketch.
everything that I just named, y'all basically picking the Chiefs.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at it, bro. Purdy, he got to be on point this game.
Mhm.
This is definitely like I'm definitely leaning like 49ers offense or else fails. And I think Spags is gonna cook up something to where he's gonna nullify like the amount of touches CMC gets. If they go into 22 or 21 personnel, they're probably gonna go Debo. Like Debo is heavily on 22 personnel. They're gonna be looking at Debo, and just to give like our viewers like I'm trying to like give them like trying to imagine like what's like how like the film is when you're going against a team like this. So like the 49ers, my fault. So when you go into different packages like 22, 11, 12 personnel, when you go in the film room, they're going to give you 50 plays of that personnel, and you're going to have to memorize all that shit.
All right, JC, hold on.
Now, luckily, they're really heavy on Debo and CMC, but people got to understand, man. This shit right here, it's really on Purdy. Purdy, like the last game we saw, he was throwing ducks, like really bad ducks, like especially in like from besides that, like the fourth was it the fourth quarter? Yeah, it was the fourth quarter when he threw that duck to Kittle, but like Kittle somehow caught it and like kept running for extra yards.
Mm.
Like he got all day in the back of that pocket to throw the ball and everything like that. But I feel like the Chiefs going to be just like white on rice. I feel like they're going to be good with the film room and stuff like that. But a lot of the stuff, bro, Purdy can't be reliant on his weapons this game. He's going to have to step up and make a throw. Like a couple throws. He got to make at least 4 good ass throws. Like, and I ain't trying to compare Purdy and him, but like, let's go to college football. Look at JJ McCarthy. Everybody kind of hate on JJ a little bit, call him a mid quarterback. But throughout the 2 games, the Bama game and not really so much the Natty game against Washington, but that
the 10 completion game.
Yeah, but that Bama game, JJ stepped up and made a couple good ass throws. I'm not gonna lie.
One was tipped.
The one was tipped.
He had a lot of
I think it was a touch. Hey, he made a throw that made me kind of change that changed my narrative about him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 10 yards, 15 yards out, and he threw it right between 2 defenders for a tubby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a tough ass. Like he needle thread that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Purdy gonna have to do this game, bro. Cause I feel like the Chiefs are gonna know the packages. Chiefs are gonna know who is gonna be touching the ball more than ever. Purdy gotta really like drop his balls on Sunday and be like, yo, like I gotta win this game. He can't have no Jimmy G performance a couple years back to where it's like, okay, here and there. He has to, I'm gonna say this, he has to be himself, but at the same time, he don't have to be Superman like Mahomes.
Yep.
He has to be not the game changer, but he has to be a Jared Goff or Dak Prescott this year.
I'll be honest. I think he needs to be a game changer. I think he needs to do what he did with his legs in the second half, make plays, do all that, be the extension of Kyle Shanahan that he's been labeled as by some analysts who said that Matt Ryan couldn't do that. Sorry, I had to say that.
Insane statement.
Wild. And then to say something like something about Matt Ryan not being a Hall of Famer in front of him, I was like, okay, I'm about to throw hands. I'm coming.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But no, I think he doesn't be a game changer. What were you saying, Matt?
Oh yeah, off topic. Tony Gonzalez needs to be charged for war crimes for saying to a national audience that Brock Purdy could be a top 5 quarterback in the league.
Tony said that?
Yeah.
Ew.
On Thursday Night Football. Peak Thursday night moment, by the way. But oh, good.
No, I was just gonna say the thing, like ever since this whole game changer and game manager debate Cam brought up, I think people take it out of context a lot and like say like, oh, you hated on the person. And it's like, it's not hating on the person. It's just that it's hard to evaluate somebody when you have a couple. I mean, let's go down the list. Debo Samuel, CMC, Hall of Famer. Kittle, Hall of Famer. Debo probably gonna be a Hall of Famer. Look at my fault. Big
Yeah,
Trent on the
Brandon
block.
Ayuk.
Oh,
Big
I
Trent.
haven't got it to him. Big Trent on the block, Hall of Famer.
Shoot, even their wide receiver 3 is really good. Jawan
Yeah,
Jennings.
Jennings is like how I'm trying to like
He's just
compare him
solid.
to a good.
I mean, he's like
He's like CP. I'm about to say CP3. He's like KC. He's like KCP on the Nuggets last year, bro.
he's like
Or like even
like how just for that 1 year, but how Mohamed Sanu was for the Falcons. Like he was just solid.
Backs.
He was good. He was really
He's
good.
really solid.
He's just
And then
yeah,
like
he plays his role well.
yeah, and that's what you gotta do, bro. And like that's what old wise guy told me. Like, yo, play your part and play it to the fullest. And like look at Ayuk. I know like 2 years ago, like people was like questioning Ayuk and see it's like, yo, is he really like a first round talent? But Ayuk is like, if you want to be honest, he's a top 20 receiver in the league.
He's a top 10
He would be
route
wide
runner in
receiver
football.
1 on the Falcons. He would be wide receiver
Yes,
1.
he will be wide receiver 1 on a lot of people teams.
Shoot, he almost with his production, he kind of is their wide receiver 1.
Which is weird, but like Debo's a unique wide receiver. People want to say, oh, he's a running back, but I feel like he's just a weapon X type shit.
He's just an athlete.
Yeah, he's just an athlete, and like that is a position in basketball and football. Ever since 2017, they came up. I was surprised, but it's just athlete. They gave players that name, just athlete, because they can do almost everything on the field,
Yeah,
on that side of the football, and that's what Debo is. And then, but Ayuk though, like, yeah, he's more of like the the wide receiver prototype. But I mean, the route running is special. But yeah, back to my point though. My fault.
Are you good?
My point was, Purdy. It's hard to evaluate somebody when you got that much talent around them. But if anything, I kind of agree with you, Chandler, where he had to be the game changer. But I feel like you gotta be kind of like what James Harden is doing on the Clippers right now. Oh, my fault. I ain't gonna use James Harden. I'm gonna use the guys they going against. Andy Reid. Andy Reid elevated that whole coaching staff and the players on the field for the Chiefs. Purdy has to do that on Sunday, bro. You don't have to I can understand he got some wheels on him. I ain't gonna lie, Purdy got some wheels on him. But you just gotta make some plays that will turn people's heads and be like, okay, like this is gonna be a good ass game because you showed up to the party.
I agree with all that. Sorry, I was scrolling on this Hawaii and San Diego game. But no, I agree with all that. And I feel like Brock Purdy is going to have to be, I don't think it has to be the main reason, because the defense could play crazy. But he's going to need to be a big reason that they win this game. Like, he is going to need to make not every throw, but, he needs to make every simple throw. Well, no throws are simple, but, he just can't make mistakes. If he wants to win this game, you can't make mistakes. Against Mahomes, no chance. You can't. You might as well kiss it goodbye. Might as well not show up. You plan on making mistakes, don't show up. Because Mahomes is going to play the best game of his life. I mean, I feel like that's just a given. Like, it's like the stage gets bigger. The stage gets bigger, he gets better. That's why he's top 3 already, right?
Top 3 what all time?
Yeah, he's top 3, right?
For me, he's top 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna save that discussion for another day.
Okay. For me, he is. I'll go ahead and throw him up there.
I ain't saying no. Listen to this. When I say that, I ain't trying to say he ass or anything or like he ain't top 20 type shit.
No.
I'm just saying.
50.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be no old head with this.
Yeah.
I know Mahomes is great. All I'm saying is there's some points we gotta break down to all this shit.
So
But yeah.
I think it's time we give our official predictions. So, Icy, would you like to lead us off?
Uh,
Drum roll.
alright. Alright. If it's going to be a close game, give me Chiefs 34-30. I will love. That's what my head is saying. My heart is saying, because I need I need Wilkes, I need CMC, and Jesus Christ, I'm about to say it, but I need Sam Darnold to get a ring. That's what my heart's saying right now.
Panthers legend.
Ah, Jesus Christ, man, it's so nasty.
Did incredible things for that franchise.
Yeah. My heart is saying 20. No,
Yeah, you
I
can.
don't
Hold
think
on.
the game's going to be in the 20s. I think it might be high 20s. I don't think it's going to be no fireworks or anything. I think it's going to be probably 29, 25, 27 type shit. That's what my heart is saying. But I think overall, I want to say the Chiefs probably going to pull this one out. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, so we got Chiefs. We got one Chiefs. Mac, what you feeling?
Man, I mean, so far, I mean, I just got to stick with my my prediction that I made in like early January. I'll say I'll say San Francisco wins. I'll say like maybe let's say maybe 20-17. I don't know. I think that there's a ceiling sort of on this Chiefs offense. They haven't broken 30 points yet this postseason. Uh they're not as explosive as they were. Kelsey's getting older, even though he's turned back the clock in the playoffs. I don't know. Also with the Niners, there's something I know this from experience right now with the Celtics. Someone actually put out a funny tweet when they were down 24-7 that the Niners are basically the NFL version of the Celtics. I don't know. There's just something to be said for a team that consistently can keep knocking at the door, and all they need is a couple things to go their way because of how elite their roster is and how much I know this is probably going to be a crazy take, how much I believe in Kyle Shanahan in this game. I think if he wins a ring, I think he should be in conversations for his quarterback work alone. The fact that he would win a ring with Brock Purdy should push him into top 10 head coach of all time discussions already. I don't know. I have such a belief like in this roster and in the coaching staff that even though like Mahomes top 4 quarterback, Andy Reid GOAT coach, by the way, I don't know. I just think San Francisco is gonna find a way to win a game. And honestly, I think the Chiefs receivers I think might rear their ugly head. They might have a couple of bad drops. You know, maybe Mecole Hardman is somehow on the field and he fumbles. Typical Georgia receiver.
Miko.
But no, and then but honestly, like if you think about it, like where these two teams were like a few years removed from their Super Bowl matchup, I think the Niners have upgraded their roster in comparison, and the Chiefs have kind of downgraded, especially with like Tyreek Hill obviously not being there. I mean, I know they won a Super Bowl without him, but I think if they had him, I'd definitely pick him to win. But I don't know. I just think Brock Purdy's just got to manage, just as long as he manages the games and he makes a couple more throws than Jimmy G did last time, I think that they should narrowly win this game and finally cement what they've been building the past few years, which has been beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah, enough of my ranting.
All right, so we got one Chiefs and one 49ers. So I'll be the, I guess, deciding factor. Um, for the first two rounds of the playoffs, I went against the Chiefs, and I was wrong both times. The first time was more for jokes. The second time I was serious. I really thought the Ravens could pull it off. Or excuse me, I really thought the Bills could pull it off. And I was wrong both times. I went against that because I had the Bills making the Super Bowl. Or excuse me, I had the Ravens making the Super Bowl. I had the Bills making the AFC Championship game. But in the AFC Championship game, I went against my prediction, and I took the Chiefs in that game. And I'm going to follow the same thing. I have learned from Super Bowl 51. I have learned from Nick Saban for my whole life. And I've learned from Patrick Mahomes. Don't go against the greatest in the game. And I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to take the Chiefs. The point you made, though, is interesting about how the 49ers, like you don't doubt the 49ers ever, no matter what the score is. And again, I don't mean to relate everything to teams that I watch, but to relate it to a team that I watch, 2022 Georgia. In that Ohio State game, we went down by 14 twice. And obviously, you go down for your team, you're kind of like, oh, God. But it wasn't like normal. Like, I wasn't like, oh, we've lost. No, we've lost. We've lost. I had faith. And to that point, what you made, there's a lot of faith in that team because of how stacked their roster is, how many playmakers they have, and how good they are. So, me picking the Chiefs is not more so that I think that they're just a better team, but it's more of I just think that they have, well, Patrick Mahomes. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be Patrick Mahomes and do what he needs to do to win this game. He's going to do something that we probably never seen again. Like the play to Kelce where he had Travis Kelce looking like he was 25. I don't even know how that happened. I mean, it's crazy. It's going to be something crazy, I'm sure, because these are the two. Well, I don't want to say they're the two best rosters in the game, but they have. It's the best running back in football, the best quarterback in football, the best left tackle in football. You name it, it's here. I mean, the best
coaching,
kicker.
Best head coaching matchup.
Exactly, best head coaches, the best kicker, and Butker, not Moody. But I'm gonna take the Chiefs in this one. But you could do the whole thing where it's like if this game's played 10 times, then it'd probably be, I wouldn't say 50-50, but it'd be close. Probably maybe 60-40. I don't know. But I feel like this is a good matchup. There was a stat that ESPN was talking about. I didn't listen to it too much, but I heard it as I was walking by. And it said something about the 49ers run defense from like 0 to 3 or 0 to 4 yards being pretty poor. So if the Chiefs game plan to that, that's not exactly what they did against the Ravens, I don't think, but they weren't as bad at the run as they didn't struggle with the run like I thought they would. And if it's been true the whole season that the 49ers just aren't as good in the run game from, short yard distances, then I feel like the Chiefs would attack that. I mean, I feel like Andy Reid would see that and definitely make an adjustment to that. So I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs for sure. And JC wanted to give a prediction too. So JC, if you're here, you can hop in the Discord real quick as we're talking. But I don't know. I can't go against Mahomes. I mean, I can't. I really can't. I've learned my lesson.
I can't. I don't know. When a team is down, basically down at half both times, and they win. I mean, there's just a certain like that IU catch solidified it for me, just because, being a fan of some of those dominant teams and losing to like Team of Destinies, like that's what that felt like. Like there was, like I feel like they could. I mean, and it's not really even going to be a fluke because they've been in the NFC title game 4 of the last like 5 years, and they've went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So
Shout out To you boys. Shout out to the Cheap Seats podcast. Thanks for having me on. Or are you gonna? Sorry.
Thank you. Are you good? I was just going to ask how you doing. I was going to ask you after that. I was going to ask you about the matchup, but how you doing?
We live in, man. I've been practically begging you to do an episode on a night where I don't have to work, and you've finally done it. So I appreciate that.
Thank Mac.
Yes, sir.
Thank Mac.
And I know
got
I
us
come on
together.
here a lot, but I do appreciate it. Thanks for letting me being a
We
Chiefs
love
fan.
having
Come
you.
chop it up with you boys about the Chiefs and just about football. I'm a football fan first. Love the game. Let's talk about it.
Of course. So, what's your prediction? How you feeling as a Chiefs fan?
So, the Kansas City Chiefs defense will be the reason they win this game, 27-24. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is significantly, and I say this with pride, significantly better than the San Francisco 49ers defense, and I'll tell you why. Look at the list of quarterbacks the Kansas City Chiefs have faced this season, and look at the list of quarterbacks the 49ers have had to face this season. One list is way better than the other, and it's not for the 49ers. That's why Kansas City, in my belief, had a better defense than the Ravens, have a better defense than the 49ers, have the best defense in football right now, and Kansas City will win this game 27-24 on a big defensive performance. I'm looking at maybe a big interception from Snead, Chris Jones, who I'll get to in a minute because I need to address something Max said earlier. Chris Jones might have a big sack. I think if Willie Gay's healthy, he'll play, and he might be a factor. This Kansas City Chiefs defense will be the reason they win this game.
Hey, I know that Nick Bolton's PFF grade's been pretty poor, but hey, listen, he kind of sniffs around the ball in big games.
Mm.
Only thing that truly scares me is Brandon Ayuk and CMC. We did a really good job at stopping the run against the Ravens. If we can stop CMC, I don't see any scenario where we just flat out stop CMC. But if he doesn't have a huge day on the ground, like I said, 27-24, Kansas City wins this Super Bowl. Chandler said it earlier. When the stage gets bigger, Mahomes gets better. It's, in my opinion, the biggest game of Patrick Mahomes' career because if you win this game, that's 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. And what does it take to be a dynasty? 3 championships in 5 years. Kansas City wins this game. They are officially a dynasty. That question is put to bed forever. Huge game, biggest game of Mahomes' career. I think he goes out there, has himself a night, solidifies the Kansas City Chiefs as a dynasty, which is something I never thought I would live through, being a Chiefs fan for 20 plus years.
What to the point you made earlier, what quarterbacks are you talking about that the Chiefs have faced? Are you adding the playoffs into that too?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you just meant regular season.
Well, I mean, the list of quarterbacks the Chiefs played in the regular season is better than what the 49ers have had to play. If you really go look at it.
Yeah, I had it up on stream. I was looking at it. Was the
main
ones
NFC,
being...
The NFC is the much weaker conference when it comes to quarterback play, and the 49ers have ran roughshod over it because they have a good defense, but I feel like if the 49ers were in the AFC and had to play a lot of these elite quarterbacks like Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, I'll maybe even throw Tua, Justin Herbert in there. I don't think the defense is as highly praised as it is right now.
No, we're not throwing Tua in those conversations. But
Tua is better than Justin Herbert, and I'll die on that hill.
What? Oh my God, no.
Jesus Christ.
And y'all didn't even play. Y'all didn't play Burrow this year.
Let Hawaiian left-handed Mac Jones a weapon.
Hey man.
Which y'all played what? Josh Allen and Herbert
Lamar
twice.
Herbert had to play.
I meant
Trevor Lawrence before we played Trevor Lawrence in week 2 before the injury, before the Jags imploded on themselves.
Yeah,
I wish we would have had to play Joe Burrow, but sadly he was kind of had other things going on. And we had to play Jalen Hurts, who had a great year. Well, quote unquote great year.
Kinda.
Like I said, the quarterbacks the Chiefs defense has faced is way better than the list of quarterbacks San Francisco's defense has had to play. So I think that's the big deciding factor right there.
Well, it's really only because they played Trevor Lawrence. They played um, Lamar Jackson. They played Jalen Hurts. They played Dak. They played a couple people. I mean,
Yeah, they didn't just play Lamar. They got.
they got boat raced by Lamar, but
That's another thing. Like the Chiefs defense shut down an offense that blew the 49ers out of the water. So I don't see how anybody picks against the Chiefs in this game with the way Mahomes plays on the big stage and just their defense, man. It's incredible.
True.
Now, before I hop out of here, can I just address two things really quick that Mac touched on earlier? Can we rewind the clock a minute?
Sure.
Mac, you said earlier in the debate of which D-line is better, which, by the way, it's clearly the 49ers with Armstead, Bosa, Chase Young to an extent. It's that I don't know how that's a toss-up. It's clearly the 49ers. You said earlier Chris Jones was one of quote-unquote the best pass rushers in the playoffs. I don't know if you know this or not, but Chris Jones' first career playoff sack came last season against the Bengals in the AFC Championship.
Oh, I know that.
So I don't understand your logic of how he's one of the best pass rushers ever in the playoffs when he didn't touch a quarterback in his entire career in the playoffs until last season.
Oh, that's
Like,
easy.
yes,
You don't
QB
need.
QB pressures are a way better indicator than sacks.
well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Like,
he touched Tom Brady, literally tapped Tom Brady on the shoulder in the 2018 AFC Championship and got a 15-yard penalty for it.
no, that was a face mask, and you know it.
Tom
not-
Brady
He
is
tapped him
Teflon.
on the shoulder.
We're not bringing up stuff that happened 5 years ago, but however,
if D Ford's isn't offsides, Mahomes has 3 rings right now, and they're already a dynasty. So yeah, well, I guess we'll just put that to bed.
yeah, I guess yeah.
Plus,
And-
Jay, you gotta
There's
understand
an
one
if
thing,
before
too.
that, so it doesn't matter.
You gotta understand one thing too, bro. Chris Jones, bro. I ain't saying he's getting the Aaron Donald treatment, but you gotta think in the play. They have him in the 3 technique. They have him in the nose. They have him in the eye, 2 eyes sometimes. They also got him coming off the edge a lot of times, just to mix up the pass rush. And
I'm-
you have a D tackle, or we call him. Oh, he's a D tackle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a D tackle.
Yeah, when you have a D tackle going from 2 eye, nose, going to the end, they have different roles that they play. That's why to me, he's the second best, right behind Aaron Donald. But when you have different roles, you got different. Like he's gonna free up other guys, and even when he's doing that, he's getting pressure and hurries, which is crazy,
yeah.
guys.
That's why you see guys like George Karlaftis have such a huge impact. Charles Omenihu, sadly, he blew out his ACL and won't play this Sunday. That's why you see those guys having big impacts because Chris Jones frees them up. But to say he's my whole point is to say he's one of the greatest pass rushers in NFL playoff history is ridiculous.
Oh no, I didn't say in playoff history. I said now.
Yeah, he said no.
I said in the
Still.
now. Oh no, I mean,
But that
if
makes him
you-
though, JC.
if-
That makes
if
him.
you-
Why?
If you wanna just take a look at Chris Jones's greatness, rewind back to Super Bowl 54, where in the fourth quarter, like he basically, I mean, I know it was a team effort, but him getting off that line basically disrupted the Niners' entire offense for that entire fourth quarter. Like they could not stop him in the interior at all.
Chiefs legend Terrell Suggs had a hand in that too. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Also, if you want to gauge how good Chris Jones is, I mean, Frank Clark was close to breaking the sacks record in Kansas City, and
Facts.
Frank Clark wasn't that good of a pass rusher before he got traded.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. He hasn't touched a quarterback in the playoffs since before last season. So,
Sacks. People treat some stats nowadays because of Twitter, social media. They elevate it to where it's like sometimes it's not really supposed to be elevated. Like sacks mean
pressures
something, but
Pressures are a more important stat than sacks because they can cause incompletions, they can cause interceptions, They can cause other pass rushers to get involved.
They
Um,
can
straight
cause
sack.
they can cause a lot of disruption, but the reason I disagree with you on that is if you don't get a quarterback on the ground, there's too many quarterbacks in today's league especially that can stare pressure in the face and still carve you up. Like you've seen it. Mahomes, you say, is the best quarterback ever at getting out of sacks.
That's Mahomes though.
With how many teams pressure him, he's his first like 3 years in the league as a starter, he was blitzed more than anybody, and he just stared pressure right in the face and still was able to carve people up like there was no tomorrow. Like pressures are a huge part, but with the amount of quarterbacks in the league today that can just stare pressure in the face and still be elite, I think actually getting to the quarterback, finishing the job, and recording the sack is more important than just putting pressure on a quarterback.
I'll say
The only quarterback is. Oh, go ahead, Shane.
I was gonna say I wouldn't put Mahomes in a group with any other quarterback. I feel like he's in his own thing.
Yeah,
And I don't
I
feel
mean,
like there's that many.
Like,
I don't feel like
there's
that
a lot
many.
more athletic quarterbacks.
I could use
but
Brock Purdy as the exact same example. He's done a really
No.
good job this season at getting out of pressure and avoiding sacks.
no.
Like
They can like
if you don't get a
oh,
here's a perfect example. 2021 AFC Championship game. Joe Burrow was pressured close to 20 times, if not more. The Chiefs didn't sack him one time that game. Who won the game?
the team didn't the Chiefs get like basically shut out in the second half?
But if Chris Jones
That's a big part.
Chris Jones has Joe Burrow late in the fourth quarter on a huge third down, literally in a bear hug, and somehow Joe Burrow gets out of it, and the Bengals go on to score on that drive and win the game. Like he had pressure, but he didn't get the sack, and it ended up costing the Chiefs the win and a shot to go to the Super Bowl.
But that's just, bro. You're saying you're naming one time out of like 100 other times where quarterbacks been in that instance and they just haven't done anything. Joe Burrow, to many people's eyes, is the second best quarterback, and he can get out of situations like that.
No, my point stands because last season in the AFC Championship game, Chris Jones got his get back. He got pressure on Burrow. He sacked Burrow on a huge 3rd and 8, and that pretty well ended the game and ended the Cincinnati Bengals season. If you're able to finish the job and get the quarterback on the ground, recording the sack is more important than just getting pressure.
I mean, Stacey, I'm not saying, but if you get the sack, like, yeah, that's great. You put them back probably like 10 yards or like 10 or 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
If it's 3rd down, you get the offense off the field.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but I'm saying to you, when you get pressures, hurries, you cause more, like Max said it, you cause more disturbance. You get disturbance in the force, and fucking motherfuckers be like, shit, I'm weak. Throw the ball up in the air. It'd be a pick. Fumble. Someone come on the other side, knock the ball out. Just like happened with Lamar. I think it was that fumble. Someone came off the edge. Lamar thought he had a clean pocket, and they popped the ball out. It was a fumble. Off of a hurry. He didn't even sack him.
I'm glad you brought up Lamar because to your argument, he is a perfect example. He looks pressure in the face and he gets scared and he makes horrible decisions. That's why the Kansas City Chiefs won the AFC Championship, is because they went down on the first 2 drives, they scored, they put pressure on the Baltimore Ravens, and Ravens said, oh shit, we're not just going to be able to run the ball and gash them all game. We got to go blow for blow, score for score. Got to put the ball in the air. And it ended up being the death of them. So, like, I get your argument, but I'm gonna live and die on the heel of you've got to finish the job and get the quarterback on the ground as to just putting pressure on him.
Well, it's kind of the same thing as to why Jalen Carter was, sorry to bring it up again, why Jalen Carter was so touted as a player, why he was the best player on that 2021 and 2022 team, because he took a lot of the like brute force. He took a lot. He was taking double teams all the time, and sometimes winning. Like
Pause.
Pause.
Hold on. I got to pause too, man. Yo, shout out Chan, bro. University of Georgia. If anybody listens to this podcast, man, He gives off the best free promotion of Georgia
Hey,
players.
come on, man.
Sign this man to a contract.
Come
man.
on, man. I mean, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm my phone's right here. I'm waiting on him to, call me up. But no, the examples I was trying to make is what Chris Jones does, right? He'll take double teams, sometimes triple teams, pause, and it'll free up a lot of his guys, like what y'all been saying, right? But it's just I feel like that is so important to how we said earlier in the podcast. Play your role. He plays his role perfectly. He takes up a lot of. It's gonna be another pause. I'm not even gonna finish it. You know what? Pause. Another pause, actually. Just move on.
Bro, like when you play D-line, bro, you gotta understand everybody. I mean, look at everybody. I think I said it in Spaces before when I was talking to a good friend, one of our good friends. But I said, bro, look at Booger McFarland. Look at his LSU days, and look at his like Tampa Bay. Like people don't think he won a Super Bowl with the Bucks, and I think it was 0-1. Like
0-2.
0-2, my fault. Like he was on that team, and he was like a major role, just because Warren Sapp played a lot of the nose and the 3 technique, but he was getting like Booger, like he was getting pressures, he was getting hurries, he wasn't getting sacks, but like he was another big part on that D line, and they needed that. Warren Sapp is getting double teamed. There's NFL, like you're on the NFL for a reason. If your best guy is getting double teamed, you have to beat the guy in front of you.
Yeah, you gotta win
don't
your
have to-
one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, you gotta win your one-on-one matchups, and that's what Kansas City did to the Ravens, bro. They won their one-on-one matchups. What I was talking about, the weak dogs and the strong dogs, those linebackers won the one-on-one matchups against the running back, whoever running back they had for Baltimore, and the
Gus
tackles for
Edwards.
Baltimore. Yeah, they won the one-on-one matchups, bro. That's how you win games, bro. And that's what you gotta do for a defensive lineman. If you got what's his face? What's the D tackle? Kansas City. What's his face? Bad at names, bro.
George Karlaftis?
No.
No,
Man,
for the
we
Ravens,
just
is it like Michael Pierce?
No, for Kansas City.
Oh,
Charles
Chris
Omenihu?
Jones. Chris
Oh.
Jones, my fault.
I thought you
Oh,
were talking about somebody
I
else.
thought you meant somebody
bro.
else.
My mind was going somewhere else. But now, like, once you see Chris Jones, like, if he got a double team going on, bro, like, you have to win that matchup to get a pressure, bro. Because you don't know what may happen.
Yeah, I mean, somebody that can take a double team like that right in their face. I mean, it's just
yeah, crazy.
Pause.
But yeah, no, I get it. I just, at the end of the day, in a big game like say the AFC Championship, I would rather have 5 recorded sacks than 10 recorded pressures.
Oh, of course. I mean,
So-
that's like it's kind of like batting average. Just like obviously you'd rather
of
have
course
5
you
home
want.
runs.
I mean, you want to have the sack, but also 2 of those pressures could turn into interceptions. Now, what's better, a sack or an interception?
Those sacks can
Or a
set the
fumble.
offense 10 yards behind the chains and end up getting them off the field.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a sack.
Turnover gets them off the field.
I feel like a sack is kind
Yeah,
of like
but
batting average in baseball. How it's lost its not
To my point,
appreciation,
though,
but
to my point, though, if you're in a big game like the AFC Championship, chances are you're playing a quarterback that is really good under pressure. So
Depends.
finish the job, get them on the ground, then the needle will be moved.
finish him off.
Finish them
Yeah,
off.
exactly. Top them off.
All right, pause. There was one more thing Max said that I want to touch on. I remember. Earlier you were just giving a lot of shit for Tony Gonzalez about what he said about Brock Purdy. Let's cut Tony Gonzalez a little bit of slack because he doesn't really know what an elite quarterback looks like. Tony Gonzalez, go down the list of names of
I'll
people
remove
he
him
had
right now.
throwing him the ball, especially
I'll
in
remove you
Get
right
him.
now. I'll remove you right now.
Get him.
I'll
Get
remove
him.
you right now.
Get his ass. Get his ass.
I'll remove you
I
right
said
now.
in Kansas City. I said in Kansas City. I
Okay.
said in Kansas City.
Hey, Trent
Tony
Green was
Gonzalez
not.
did not
was
have great
bad.
quarterbacks throwing him the football, especially in Kansas City.
We will start respecting Trent Green for some reason on this podcast.
I was about to start.
You can respect Trent Green. That's fine. I
Trent
like
Green
Trent
was-
Green, but he was not. Do you know Do what you probably don't want to know the things I would do to have prime Tony Gonzalez playing in this offense right now, just to see what an elite quarterback would look like throwing him the ball. Like it's never happened in Tony Gonzalez's entire career.
What? Wait, why would you want to
I'm gonna
downgrade a
start
tight
throwing
end?
shit. I'm gonna start throwing shit. I'm gonna start throwing shit.
I said prime. I said elite quarterback.
Hey, I
You're
don't
not-
care. I'm
You're not
taking
telling me
any.
Trent Green was on the level of Patrick Mahomes.
No. I'm saying, why would you want to downgrade a tight end? I'll take any version of Travis Kelce over any
I was
version
about
of
to say,
Tony
is it
Gonzalez.
Travis
I
like-
said prime Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'm still
Imagine
taking any
if-
version of.
If you
Travis
had
Kelce.
if you had Travis Kelce and prime Tony Gonzalez playing at the same time, that's the best offense maybe ever. With
Oh, no,
Patrick
but
Mahomes throwing him the football, it's
Oh
the
yeah,
greatest,
that
it's the
would.
greatest show on turf 2.0.
Hey, well, hey, listen, they're no CTE magnet and murderer tight end duo. I'll tell you that much.
Very funny.
I'm
Very
me
funny.
personally, I'm taking the 2016 Falcons against the Packers offense over anybody, but we can all have our things.
Yes, we
It-
can. My team can have hopefully this Sunday 4 Super Bowls, and your team can have the biggest choke in Super Bowl history. So yeah, we all got our things.
That's crazy.
Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl,
He said Rose.
I'd rather have Super Bowls than national
Rose Bowl,
championships.
Rose Bowl.
Kremlin. Yeah, if we ever see each other, I'm gonna swing.
Smell the
personally.
roses. You can't.
Rose.
Smell the Lombardis. Oh wait, you
Rose.
can't. But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. Letting me
Absolutely.
chop
Of
it up.
course.
Before I go, shout out Toby Keith. Being in Oklahoma, we lost a legend, man.
Who?
I actually, Toby, you please tell me you know who Toby Keith is.
He said who?
Oh,
He's one of the greatest country singers of all time.
that makes
But
sense.
anyway, I knew him personally, being from Oklahoma. I got to chop it up with him at his restaurant a bunch of times. He's a great dude. Gonna miss him. And shout out to Oklahoma softball. The 4-peat begins today, baby. We've played one game this season, and we have run ruled already this season.
No,
Real
we-
sport. Softball has begun.
No, we're not plugging. College
We are
softball.
plugging.
Nasty,
We are plugging
bro.
the greatest softball
Oh
program. in
my
the country.
god.
Yes, we are.
You-
That is exactly what we're
Ow!
doing.
Boo this
Before-
man.
Before I get out of here, let me I don't know if you guys were about to talk NBA, but let me segue you into NBA talks real quick. The Thunder got Gordon Hayward, which I'd love to hear y'all touch on, and just how that makes the Thunder better. And I repeat, gentlemen, the Detroit Pistons have won 2 games in a row.
Chop it up.
Crazy stuff. But yeah, I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to keep listen to y'all chop it up about some NBA basketball. I can't wait to come back on the show after the Oklahoma City Thunder win the NBA Finals in Game 7 against Max Boston Celtics. I'll come on here and talk some shit. So until then, I'll
Okay.
see y'all.
Hey, don't
Okay.
go hiding if y'all lose on Sunday. That's all. I'm gonna
Hey,
say.
brother, if we lose on Sunday, I will come right back to this podcast and chop it up
Whoa,
with y'all
pause.
the same way I would if we win. So, yeah, pause. Definitely a pause. All right, y'all be good, man.
See,
All right.
All right, man. But yeah, he did segue us, from the NFL to the NBA.
From
And-
from a great Super Bowl matchup to an absolute snooze fest of a trade deadline.
God, if the Super Bowl's like the
Yeah.
trade deadline,
There
Oh.
was 15 trades in the deadline that happened technically yesterday, but there were some teams that got good or got better off the trade deadline. I'm not gonna lie. I want to talk about that, and then I also want to talk about the 65 game rule. See what are y'all thoughts on that. But tell me, who do y'all think is the biggest winners and losers of the trade deadline?
well,
Obviously the biggest winner, I think, and the best trade of the day was definitely by the Knicks. Because they got a starter in Bojan, and then they have, at least for the regular season, a solid bench player in Alec Burks. Clear loser is the Bucks. They didn't do anything except add Patrick Beverly, who, by the way, it's super annoying that people actually still try to hype him up Like, oh, he's a Rough Rider. He's got that dog in him. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, he's always come across as like a poor man's Marcus Smart. Like, to where they're like, oh, you need like if you want to win a championship, you need championship caliber pieces like Pat Bev and like Marcus Smart. And it's like they don't even have championships to their name. So like I don't really get where that comes from. Like, they're bad, they're inefficient. More so, Pat Bev is very inefficient as a shooter. Uh, his leadership is pretty overrated, especially considering that he's going to a team with Giannis and Dame on it. And Kendrick Perkins said one of the dumbest things on live TV, like Giannis and Dame have to like accept his leadership. Like, like no, bro, you're a role player. Like, get in line. Like, no, we're not gonna listen to the play-in king.
I say this though. Well, before I'm gonna let Chance says his winners and losers, but I say this though about a player like Pat Bev. I kind of agree on what Perk said. I think he said it in a different, should have said it in a different way. Obviously, Pat ain't gonna go up there, come in the joint, and be like, "Yo, like I'm big dog now." Nah. But I've been saying this for like the past 2 years. When I look at Giannis, like Giannis, you gotta understand, he's 29. Well, that team is like really old now. It got old quick. But like he's 29, finna go 30, and you gotta understand he's in the prime, and his athletic ability is probably gonna go down. So we gotta make use of it. And like obviously, like Giannis is gonna get a triple dub or like a crazy double double, but we don't talk about like the challenges he set for himself. Like everybody want to go with the grain and be like, yo, look at Kobe's mentality, Mamba mentality, bro. Look at the mentality of some of these players, bro. Like, look at what they doing, bro. Like, when I look at Giannis, he doesn't get challenged. They're one of the worst teams defensively. Well, not one of the worst teams, but they're pretty bad defensively. And I thought it was a good pickup at least for the perimeter play defensively. Because he's going to give you defense. I mean, his shooting might be kind of shitty, but like one thing with Pat Bev, bro, he's gonna give his heart out defensively. You're gonna need that. But someone kind of do need to challenge Giannis, bro. I mean, Giannis made a lot of firings. He made a lot of things shaking up. He basically made the Dame trade happen. It was a trade, right? Or was a signing?
Yeah, Dame trade. Yeah,
it was a Dame trade. Yeah, he basically made that happen so he can stay, because he was kind of like passively aggressively like saying like, yo, I'm gonna leave type shit. But when you have a player like that demanding for a lot of stuff, bro, like you gotta say like, all right, Giannis, as a franchise, we did our part. You gave us a chip, cool, but now like you gotta continue doing your part. And I feel like everything like Giannis is good defensively, offensively, but like he has to buckle down. Like there's no way, like bro, if I tell both of y'all, there's a 6'10" nigga, strong as hell, can get you 35, 15 a night if he really wanted to, but he's not checking your the other team's best player, and he's lengthy. Pause. What do y'all think? Y'all think he's gonna be like, why he's not checking his best player? And he probably run a 4.2 or 4.3 if he really wanted to, because he's that athletic. But he doesn't want to guard the best person on the other side of the court.
Mm-hmm.
How would that come off to y'all? He's kind of scared, right?
Yeah, I mean,
depends on matchups.
Unless it's a point guard.
Honestly.
But if it's
come on, 6'10",
I just mean like picking up a point guard
every.
I just mean like picking up a point guard like him having to guard Trey like every possession. I mean, not that I'm not doubting his ability, but it's just like matchup wise. But I do get what you're saying.
Yeah, but considering his coach is Glenn Rivers, yeah, it's kind of scary because we know Glenn Rivers doesn't run sets.
I mean, let's be honest about. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna start calling him Glenn Rivers too, but because what he did to T-Mac, I can never Give him
That man did not get his PhD.
But I mean, Rivers, I would say this. They have been playing a little bit better defensively just because what all he's doing on defensively is switching the pick and roll and sending the double team through the backside or the front side. It's nothing really special. But I mean, Dog has challenged players before, but I felt like this trade really I felt like Pat just needs to challenge him. He challenged Maxi, which I commend him for. He said, "Yo, Maxi, we need you to step up. Like when Joel's out there working, we need you to be that guy. Since Harden's gone, we need you to be that guy to get 30. If you get 30, all right, get 35. If you get 35, get 40 type shit." And I commend him for it. He needs to do that for Giannis.
My
me
argument is Tyrese Maxey and Giannis Antetokounmpo are in two entirely different situations. Like Giannis, Maxey was an aspiring young player looking to be an all-star. Giannis is an established superstar with multiple MVPs, multiple Defensive Player of the Year. He's a champion. I don't think Pat Bev can really challenge him because I feel like in order to challenge somebody, you have to have accomplished like some sort of thing. I feel like with Doc Rivers, at least he has that championship. Like, I mean, if somebody who's like clearly not on your level is trying to challenge you when you're already the face of a franchise and all that other stuff, like you're just gonna give him like a sassy look up, like, who are you? Like, get out of my face.
And I feel you on that, but don't you think you're gonna need somebody like just to come in and be like, pause. You need someone to like come in and say like, look, bro, this is what you gotta do in order to get number 2. Because if you look at the East, look at the landscape of the East. The Knicks got better. Celtics ain't gonna go anywhere.
Oh, so I think the Celtics bench got way better with a couple of trades we made,
Okay.
at least defensively.
Possibly. I mean, that's really. I mean, what we're gonna see how the Sixers are gonna be. You can't close your eyes on Miami Heat. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh no, never.
You can never close your eyes on them. And
Never
then
Magic.
you look how Cleveland is playing. I mean, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, shout out Spider, but it's like nobody want to give him. He's cooking over there, bro. And I'm Giannis, bro. Look, I love Dame, but he been shorting tour dates.
All-star
Yeah.
starter. All-star starter.
See, I ain't
Oh,
gonna even go into
Oh,
that. But
also shout out Julius Randle. Kind of clutch not being able to play for a rightful All-Star like Trae Young to make the All-Star team.
yeah,
Thank you.
but
But
all I'm saying is, you look at the landscape on the East. You don't know like how many good years you got left of this whatever you got going on in Milwaukee. You need to be challenged some way somehow. That's all I'm saying.
I think but the thing is, so this kind of reminds me of when they hired Phil Jackson in LA. How I watched this HBO documentary on Shaq's career, and you kind of need, for players like that, you need somebody like a Phil Jackson, somebody who's a proven winner and a proven champion. I feel like, because that was the only person that Shaq said that was the only person that was going to motivate him to get better than what he was. Because I feel like when you're dealing with players of this caliber and like the amount of ego that comes with accomplishments and everything naturally, I think you need somebody who can go ego for ego, like resume for resume, that's really gonna get the respect of not only Giannis but for this team, for like the locker room. But however, they're just so cooked from a perimeter defense standpoint, especially wings. Like and going up in a series against potentially the Celtics, I don't think Milwaukee's a top 2 team right now. I think it's the Celtics and the Knicks. But no, but if they play the Celtics in a series, I mean, I think Tatum and Brown are going to average 30 plus because honestly, it doesn't really matter if Giannis decides to check Tatum when Jaylen Brown's primary defender is probably going to be like Pat Connaughton, and then you got Dame Lillard, who is never that good of a defender, trying to guard either Derek White or Drew Holiday, who are, I mean, Derek White's liable to go off. That's why he was a borderline all-star as like a fourth option. Plus you look, I mean, Brook Lopez can still shoot, but he's definitely a lot slower than he was even a year or two ago. And Kristaps, I'm gonna be honest, this might sound biased, but on some nights, Kristaps Porzingis can be the best player on the Celtics.
That's facts though. Like he could do that. I've seen him. He done it before. I've seen him. This year looks better than JB. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I said that during the summer. Everyone thought I was crazy, but after what Jaylen Brown did on Twitter, listen, no more JB slander.
Oh Jesus, I saw what he did.
Shout out JB.
Yeah, King,
Mr. Georgia.
King. But
another way to bring up Georgia. Come on.
Yeah, but no, I could just see KP just because he's younger, more athletic, just bodying Brook Lopez in the post. Yeah. But no, shit. Even Jalen Brunson cooked them on Christmas, like in prime time. That perimeter defense is still barbecue chicken.
Yep.
It is, and I kind of agree with you too. I do think the Knicks right now probably are the second best team in the East. I'm not gonna lie. It's just
Julius Randle. It's just the Julius Randle factor. That's the biggest. Well, I think besides like obvious star power, I think it's Julius Randle. Julius Randle will forever be their X factor as long as he's the second best player on their team.
Yeah.
Like if Julius Randle decides to show up, then like they can make the Eastern Conference Final. If he doesn't, then they're second round exits. Like it's just that simple.
You gotta look at, I think everybody East beside the Celtics. And the Celtics, I have one question. We talked about this earlier, but I'm not gonna talk about them. But the question for everybody on the East, except for the Celtics, is can we go head to head, toe to toe with JB and JT? Do we have two guys on our roster that can compete with them in a series defend them?
There's only one tandem that can say that in the East, and their roster is pretty bad. It's the Miami Heat.
It's the Atlanta Hawks.
But
I'll say the Sixers. I ain't gonna lie. No. When I say that, obviously Joel got to be healthy, but I think the Sixers can. He's never. But look. I don't know what they got to do with that man, knee or something. But look, man, when he's healthy and Maxey can get it going, bro, I think they can match up with the Celtics really good.
I just can't see it from the standpoint that like the Celtics, in my opinion, are just that much better than what we were last year. And Joel's obviously dealing with knee injuries. I don't know, because at least there were parts in the series, at least last year, where James Harden, because he's James Harden, could take over a game. I just don't think that they have that guy that's going to go off for 40 points like James Harden did in games 1 and game 5 of that series. Like, I would say Tyrese Maxey, but
he got to prove some more.
He's got to prove some more, and he's got to deal with Drew Holiday and Derek White.
A hard task to do. Yeah, let's not try to stray away. But who's the other loser? Right, then we get the chain.
The other loser, Save
the Hawks for me. Save the Hawks for me.
No, I'm not going to talk about that because they didn't really. I'm not really going to talk about teams that didn't make any moves. I mean, I think a loser is for sure. I mean, it's the Pistons, obviously. Like they got pennies on the dollar for. I'm sorry, they got pennies for pretty much all of their assets, and they also they couldn't even get a second round pick for Killian Hayes and Josh Harris. They just got waived.
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris, my bad.
No, you...
Yeah.
But no, but I don't. I can't call the Lakers losers. I mean, I think that they were
I can't.
better. They were better off standing pat and figuring out that their lineup of D'Lo and Austin Reeves is really good as far as net rating goes, and they should probably try that more than like 20 minutes in the entire season. But hey, who knows? Trying to think other losers. Not necessarily loser. The Cavs, even though they're a 2 seed, I still have a lot of questions about their spacing situation because Evan Mobley's still developing as an offensive player, and Jared Allen will never develop an outside shot. I mean, that's pretty clear. So, like, when you have two non-spacers, it's going to really – Donovan Mitchell is really going to be put in a pretty tough situation because a lot of the defensive pressure in the half court is going to be on him. So I guess we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, if I was a Cavs, I would have traded for a guy like Olynyk. I'm not even gonna.
Oh, shoot, or Lonnie Walker.
Yeah. All right, Chan. Give me your winners and losers.
All right, so I'll start out with winners. I'd say for me, I think the Mavs were a big winner. I think getting Gafford was pretty big for them, but I think also getting PJ Washington to add to their starting roster, I think that's pretty big. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they somehow mess around and make a Western Conference Finals this year. Wouldn't be shocked at all. I'm a really big fan of Gafford. I think the Hawks should have. That's one person the Hawks should have looked at least. I think he's going to do a lot for them, especially for their bench unit. But for me, I'm not going to talk too much about the winners because I want to talk about the losers. Hawks, what are we doing? We have all these assets. We've been talking for 2 years, right? Bulls, you haven't done anything at a trade deadline since 2021. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'll show you what we're doing. Hands. Under here. We're not doing a thing. Phone over there. We're not doing a thing. We're not taking phone calls. We don't take phone calls over here at Chicago and Atlanta. But we just sit here. Oh, trade deadline. Like, what are we doing? You are the 9th and 10th seed. You need to make moves or do something. The big losers are the fans. That's who the big losers are because we got to sit here and watch this for another half season and then the next season because they're not going to do anything. If I was a Bulls fan, I'd lose my mind. I've had to watch this for 3 years now. We don't do a single thing, and our team isn't worth a shit. What am I watching this sport for? What am I watching this team for? There's no point. I mean, literally, there's no point in watching basketball if I'm a Bulls fan. The team is not going to do anything. We're going to maybe make the play-in. We may beat the Hawks. Same thing for the Hawks. We're going to maybe make the play-in. We're going to maybe beat the Bulls. And then what? Oh, no, you earned the right to get an ass-kicking by the Celtics. Hey, good job. If that's your goal, good job.
Hey, depending on who depending on how many games they could win, if they could be in the first play-in spot and play the 2 seed, whoever that might be, that could be an interesting series. Especially if the Hawks, because I know the Hawks were on a little bit of a heater before prime Al Horford showed up in Boston. Honestly, Knicks Hawks first round series could be interesting.
They're gonna kill us. They'd kill us. They'd beat us in 4. They'd sweep us. I don't think we win a game. I don't think there'd be a game within 10. I don't. Because you know what you do? Guard Trey. What are they gonna do now? I know. Nothing. Nothing. We can't. DeJounte. This is what he does. Equivalent to nothing. He doesn't do anything. He's God. Excuse me. He'll hit 1-3 and then he'll. Like we suck. Why we did nothing. And I understand the assets weren't there. They were there in the offseason. But you didn't want to do it. It's just so dumb. Like I as a fan, as an outsider looking in, why do you have more videos of you doing dance moves and you making trade moves at a deadline? It makes no sense. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Landry Fields dancing to Nicki Minaj, and you'll be like, oh, that's what he's talking about. So, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating as somebody who tries to, who wants to love the Hawks. I can't because they don't love me back. You know what I mean? It sucks.
Hey,
But
both. I was gonna say both teams probably gonna be active in the off season,
no,
but
I don't think so.
I mean,
What are we gonna trade for? Because we've already killed DeJounte's. We've already killed his.
Trade value.
Yeah, his value. I mean, what are we gonna trade him for? Mac, and a 3rd round pick. I mean, like
You kind of gotta feel bad for the Bulls though, because like they would legitimately be a good team. It just sucks that Lonzo practiced too hard when he was in high school, and his knees are cooked now because of it. Because man, when they had Lonzo for that first like half of the 2021 season, they had something. I mean, I don't think they were gonna win a title, but they were at least gonna maybe win a first round series or something. Build something for the first time since Derrick Rose's knee exploded.
what's up with them and legs?
Hey, it's a lot. Hey, it's a lot of cutting, a lot of. It's insane. It's insane.
The shoes, man. Them shoes fucked them up.
No, Tom Thibodeau.
Dude,
Tom
he's an
Thibodeau
idiot.
loves playing his starters,
He's an idiot.
even in blowouts.
57
War
minutes a night.
criminal, man.
That was insane.
But nah, Chicago. Chicago. I feel like half the reason why they're doing bad is because their stars. I mean, like Zach and DeRozan. I love DeRozan, but like they kind of underperformed just a little bit. Plus, like they have a lot of guards over there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can't really balance. And then like their 1st round pick Patrick, I don't even know if he's still on the team anymore. I don't even know where he's at.
He's still on the team.
Oh, he's still on the team. All right.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's time like they just need to go ahead and blow everything up. But
Well, they were going to, and then their VP stepped in and said no, he wanted to keep the same team. So in their case, it's not on
it's
their
money
GM.
laundering.
It's not on their GM. It's on their VP. Now
Yeah,
for the
it's just
Hawks, is different because Landry Fields came out today and said, "Oh, I make all the decisions. I do it all. I'm the guy. It all goes through me." Oh, thanks for admitting you're the idiot. Thanks for admitting the fact that you want to watch this for the rest of the year, and the fact that you wanted to watch it the year prior, and the year prior.
Yeah, it's a damn shame that Alex Caruso will not be playing postseason basketball.
Yep.
Damn shame.
I would say with Fields though, Chan, like I always never liked him. One, he probably don't even fuck with Trey like that just because he played with the Knicks. Feel some type of way, but
Nope.
I never really fucked with them. And then like, why would you go out and say the day before, or no, like 2 or 3 days before we played the Celtics last year, that's be like, yo, like we don't trust Trey like that, bro. You basically said that going into a first round matchup after we made like the jump of beating the Heat.
Yep.
And then another stupid thing is, well, I'm not even gonna say a stupid thing, but the worst thing about that trade is that trade like didn't do shit for us.
No.
Because we traded DeJounte for his defense, Really, that's the main
That's
thing. This
that's
defense
the
and
exact reason we
secondary
got
ball
him.
handling,
Yep, we got
and
bamboozled.
his
Pop
defense
fooled
going
people.
bad. That's not even that. It's just like when he came over, he started playing defense, but then slowly but surely, it just went away. But then the other thing wrong with Atlanta basketball, outside of those two people I just mentioned, we don't have anybody else that can really handle the rock. We just thought that it was like, yo, we can beat the Heat now. Get beat. Like, okay, cool. But we don't have like a real backup point guard or backup shooting guard. Or like even a three that can like be like a little point forward almost. Oh shit. Like we don't have that shit.
And my thing too is like we'll never be a serious basketball team as long as Clint Capella is employed on this team. As long as we don't have an actual center. I'm sorry, if your center's 6'9", he's a great rebounder. He's got long arms. I do not care. I do not
Hey,
care.
you guys do have a good center. He just doesn't get starter minutes.
Exactly, and he's been getting them because
Onyeka.
and look, he's been playing because Clint's been hurt. What's happened? 4-game win
Looks
streak.
good.
It's crazy, crazy, and it's not like we just beat nobodies. Steph Curry, Lakers. Wait, I don't know.
Yeah, let's go. It's the Lakers.
I-
Curry dropped 60 and lost.
Yep.
Amen. But Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
Just tough.
But nah, bro, it's tough. But nah, the winners for me, I can't believe y'all didn't say this, but I think Phoenix is definitely a winner. Even though they made one trade, they got rid of bums, and they got Royce O'Neal, who I recall during Utah, he was like one of the only guys playing defense on that team. He shoots the ball cool, like it's nothing bad, and it's nothing like to get your like be excited about, but he can knock down a shot. He's a nice 3-and-D guy. Also, shout out the Mavs. They got a big man. What's his name? Fuck.
Gafford.
Just said it, Chan.
Yeah, Daniel Gafford.
Daniel Gafford. I watched him a couple times in the Wizards, and he has potential to be a starter, like big man, but it's just something that holds him back. But he's a good rebounder. He can finish around the rim, and it was funny because Candace Parker said it a couple nights ago, and they really found like the best fit for him for Luka, and it was like, yo, Luka is money on the pick and roll. Like he can do everything on the pick and roll. He can make the skip pass. He can make the simple read, the hard read. He can make a bad decision to a good decision. They just need to find a true roller who can just straight up dive, and that's what they
somebody who
found
can
in
finish at the
Gafford.
rim. Somebody who can finish at the rim.
Yep.
You know what Trae Young's never
Yeah.
had as a center? Somebody who can finish at the rim. It's tough. Tough world.
Tough. Another winner, obviously the Knicks. They're going to be moving deviously on defense, and now they got guys. Obviously, you look at the loss to the Lakers. The Lakers made them say, "Hey, we're going to only make one guy create for you because they don't think anybody else can create." And now they got a couple guys on that team that can create now, get open shots, good looks. So I commend them for that. A loser that I would think that didn't came up with anything today. I'm gonna just say it, and I think it's the Lakers, bro. I think y'all like there's two like as to be NBA champion or any champion, any type of sport, you gotta have consistency. That's the hardest thing to achieve, I know, but you had to trade somebody. In my eyes, I don't care if it was Rui. Like I understand Rui and Austin Reeves' contract was kind of like I was like, yo, we can't trade him. But I'm like, yo, like you had to make something shake. Could have looked at D'Lo, be like, yo, D'Lo, 2nd-round pick, get him going or something. But hey, you didn't, and now you got to work with the dumbass head coach to try to make shit shake. So That was one loser. Another loser, obviously the Hawks, but with them, it's like, all right, we want to see what happened on the off season. But this is another throwaway year for the Hawks.
Hold on. Can
trying
I
to
can
think
I
of
ask
another-
you? Can I ask you about a team?
Yeah.
So, what do y'all think about the Thunder getting Gordon Hayward?
Oh yeah, I was just about to talk about that.
They needed a vet. I think he's a good vet. I would have liked them to try to. I ain't gonna lie. It might sound real nasty, but I would have thrown a bone to Chicago. Give him a first round for Andre the Drummond.
Yeah.
They do need another big man.
They need another big man, bro. You want to maximize what you got now. I mean, Oklahoma with this young core, they're gonna be around for a while, but just to maximize like what you can be or this year, I would have thrown a first to Andre the Drummond, bro. I call him Andre the Drummond, but I would have just done that, or like just to any big man, or even like see what's up with Clint. Like throw a first, throw a second, like.
Hey, they were smart not to think about Clint Capella.
Look, I'm doing this more times than Landry Fields did, and I'm doing it one time. One time.
Eh. Clint's obviously I don't want him on the team anymore. I've been said that. But Jesus.
Capella, bunch.
But I've been saying obviously in a player that gets traded, like maybe, feels fresh, feel brand new, start playing better. But I would have done something. I mean, Gordon Hayward thing, I ain't mad about it. I think he'd be good off the bench for them.
Well, you saying about Drummond, I bet teams did call the Bulls about Drummond, but their VP, he was the one that said we're going to keep the same team. So I bet they took a lot of calls about Drummond for sure. Because what you're saying, because they need that big man presence like that, and I guarantee they probably made an offer too. I bet that was one of the teams that probably made a pretty good offer.
Listen, man, Sam Presti is just Danny Ainge without the ring. He's gonna hoard those picks until the bitter end. Like, I just don't get, like, it's I feel like in the NBA, in comparison to almost any other league, it's so easy to accumulate assets. But once you get the war chest of assets, you're afraid to trade them away for some reason, even though you have an established young core. I don't know why you wouldn't try everything possible to make them better. Shoot, they have 18 draft picks in the next 3 drafts. Like, you're telling me you couldn't throw 2 at Chicago for like Alex Caruso or Kelly Olynyk? Like, I mean, like, what are they to you? Because if all goes to plan and SGA and Chet are healthy, like, you should be consistently at least making the second round. So your draft pick isn't going to be worth that much anyways. Yep. And at that point, like, other teams' picks aren't going to be worth all that much because at that point you need veterans. You don't need to develop rookies anymore.
And especially
I don't know,
if you already, like, to your point, if you already have your young core set, like you got Shy, Chet, and then the rest of the game. If you already got that set, like, get some vet. Like, they did get one vet, that's good, but fill the rest of the holes with what you have. Because 18 pick, you're not taking 18 picks you're not taking 18 players. You're gonna trade something, so use them.
They didn't even. The thing is, like, they didn't really even get a vet. Gordon Hayward never plays. Like, he's been this way since we signed him. He's always hurt, and when he does play, he's okay at best. And I'm sure after even more years of wear and tear and not playing, like, he's going to be an absolute non-factor. He'll probably be he'll probably be what Jay Crowder was to the Bucks last year when they traded like 5 second-round picks for him. He'll probably be like a coach's like healthy scratch because because if the Thunder go where they want to go, at least past the first round, like they're good, you have to shorten the rotation. And I'm sorry, if you're a serious team in the Big 2024, you are not giving Gordon Hayward playoff minutes. Like that's absurd.
Yeah, like
That's like
how many games did they play this year?
who
The NBA in general. How many games did the NBA?
the
play this year?
NBA has played
Like 40 or 30 something.
over 40 games.
Over 40.
Yeah, way
Over
over
So
40.
quick game. Guess how many games Gordon Hayward's played in?
What, like 10 games?
More than that.
Oh, more than that. Oh,
I see. Give a
20
guess real
games?
quick. Close.
30?
25.
25?
He's averaging 14 and a half. Let's see. 14 and a half, 4.7, 4.6. He's averaging a steal. Shooting splits 36.1% from 3, 46 from the field, 76 from the free throw line. I mean, I don't think it's a bad pickup, but I wouldn't categorize it in the same thing as Pat Bev, but like, because I mean, Gordon, he's gonna start, right? Or
Gordon is no,
Is
no,
he?
he can't.
No,
start.
no.
No.
okay,
No.
I didn't know if that was crazy to think. Okay,
Also, 14. Also, I'm gonna call his 14 points per game the Terry Rozier tax of he plays on a bad team, so he's
Yeah.
gonna get a lot more shots. Like, look at what Terry Rozier is doing. I mean, I know it's decently early, but Terry Rozier has been terrible for Miami. Like that trade doesn't look that good. Like everybody kind of thought it would. But hey, I mean Terry Rozier, I mean he's basically like J.R. Smith. Like he's gonna take a lot of shots, probably miss most of the time, but when he's hot, he's a lot of fun to watch.
mm-hmm.
But no, the NBA's they played 51 games.
Oh yeah, so he hasn't even played half the season.
Yeah.
Actually, he's played 0.5 less than directly half. So
Yep.
Yeah. But another thing I want to talk to y'all about is how do y'all feel about? There was a lot of chatter last week, and this is the 65 game rule that the CBA agreed on just because they wanted to smoke some weed. But the rule basically says, and for all the listeners that don't know what it basically means, says you gotta play 65 games minimum to be to have in order to be eligible to get a reward. And obviously, you know, with Embiid going out, he will not qualify for any reward. We probably should just go ahead and set out the rest of the season. But how do you? Well, I'm gonna say this to tie into what the topic is. First of all, do y'all like the 65 game rule?
okay,
Do y'all think it's fair?
so for
Because
me,
there's a lot of things going to it.
for me, I don't.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, I don't hate the rule in general. I think it should be a little less games, but I don't hate the rule because I do feel like there needs to be some threshold. Like at some point, there needs to be some bare minimum. But 65 may be a little too much. Maybe 2/3 of the games, which would I just did the math, it'd be 55. So I'd be fine with 55, but I get why you need the rule. I feel like it's a little much, personally.
How about you, man?
Oh no, I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, 65 games is what, a little more than 2/3 of the season. I think it's a reasonable expectation that you should be able to play like basically 2/3 of an NBA season. I think that's totally fair.
Oh, actually, it's actually 80%. It's 4/5.
I was, just hear me out. I want to hear, what y'all think about this. I'm gonna play little devil's advocate almost, kind of both sides because last week we had Halliburton came out and he said that he's not really fucking with the 65 game rule. And I thought he was tone deaf to the fact that some of these like some of these players think the same way that he does, but like he gotta understand the NBA ratings are going down. Like Adam Silver wants his superstars or stars or young stars playing in these games, and they weren't for the longest. So if you want to reward on anything, like you gotta play 65 games. And I was like, bro, like these players are toned up to the fact. Then on the flip side, if you look at I think the most interesting team from here on out is the 76ers, and I tell you why. Maxey just had a 51-point ball game, right?
Yep.
Embiid is out. So in order for the Sixers to kind of stay afloat, Maxey is going to have to basically carry this team, which is good because he's going to get a lot of run. You know, he's going to stay ready. But the new CBA, there's a they try to eliminate super teams, and they did that, but each player kind of has a role almost. Like if you play like franchise mode or anything on Madden or 2K, whatever it is, like a player got a tag, and the tag for Embiid is he is a he's a superstar. He's going to get the super max. He's a super max player. If Maxey drops and continues to drop, let's say like 40, 50, or he has like a 60-point game, probably not going to have a 60-point game, but no, if he somehow makes it into a first team anything or get an award, he will be qualified for that supermax. And if he's qualified for that supermax, you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 supermax players on that team. That means virtually the Sixers are done growing. Like to NBA terms now, they will be saying that team will be like, yo, you have 2 supermax players. You can do minimum trades. You can't really go and above the tax line because you're going to get hit with penalties. You're going to be giving up picks and shit. So you have to try to win a championship with this team. Do y'all think that's fair though? Do y'all think that like it kind of all goes back to the 65 game rule? You feel me? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the new CBA was pretty dumb. I mean, it was pretty much perfect the way that it was as far as salary cap and team construction goes.
Yeah,
It should it
Oh,
should have
go ahead.
always been it should have always been a soft cap with like if your owner is willing to go over the luxury tax, then they should be allowed to. Uh, there really shouldn't be a cap really on how much if you're willing to spend, I think then you should let them spend with especially if they're willing to take on a hefty luxury tax. But no, I think the six. I mean, if hey, listen, if Tyrese Maxey does that, then hey, hey, get your bag. Like that'd be great for Tyrese Maxey. Uh,
Definitely great for Tyrese.
from a team building standpoint, I guess it's not. I don't even really think it's necessarily fair because you're basically you're financially burdening teams for having good players, which to me never really made sense. I always thought that you should kind of reward franchises for drafting and developing and signing players. I mean, it's not any other person's fault that like half the like half the league kind of sucks at that. Like that's a them problem. They should probably get smarter people and fix it.
I
But
feel you. Oh.
but I think the 65 game rule is I think it's fair. I mean, I think that as an athlete, I think especially with ratings, like you should be able to play like 80% of the season. in order to get awards. The only thing that I don't like is that these awards are tied in contracts as far as incentives go. That's the one thing that I don't like, but that's more of an agent problem than anything else. I feel like more of a negotiation problem that needs to be addressed. But no, but I think the 65 game rule is fair.
I will say, whenever it comes to roster construction, I think the NBA was a lot better when there were super teams. Because I mean, think about it: the Bulls super team, the Warriors super team. Just naming those two, that the basketball that was played in those years was incredible. Because like you had all these teams, maybe they're not on the same level, but like the series that happened between all these teams, like you think about the Rockets series, how fun that was to watch. Now, obviously, they smoked the Cavs in 17 and 18 and 18 and, or yeah, 18 and 19.
17 and 18.
Yeah, y'all know the years. But I don't know. I feel like with how down the NBA product has been, I feel like a super team is kind of needed. Like I feel like if the Nets would have worked out and they would have got injured, maybe that's what would have saved the product. I don't know, but it's like the NBA needs a villain, right? Like that's what they're missing right now. There's no true villain. There's no true team that everybody hates that they want to see lose. It's not like the NFL. I don't know. The product's just kind of down in the dumps, and I kind of feel like it's the NBA's fault.
Yeah, and the also another thing is like they overreacted to like the term super team. Like the Nets didn't work. They didn't win a title, and as dominant as the Warriors were with KD, they only won 2 championships.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the end of the world.
No,
like they
it's only a short run too, because I mean, there's only so much.
They're very short.
These owners, they're willing to pay the luxury tax for a couple years, but then it's like, okay, it's getting a little pricey, right? And I mean, obviously they have money, but I mean, you don't want to spend every dollar you have, unless you do, unless you're, Elon Musk rich, then have at it. But
yeah.
Oh, and also, JC said, tell Matt Josh Giddey and 2 firsts for Jaylen Brown still stands.
This is so sick. Oh man, this is disgusting. Oh my god, I can't believe. No. Get Rack's favorite U18 lover away from my team.
What was
Disgusting.
Was there anything else about the NBA? Because there is.
I mean, obviously, shout out. I will say this because I do feel like I need to say it. The New York media is going to be a downfall for the upcoming years. I never really fuck with New York like that. There's some people I fuck with New York, but what I see now, how they do Trae Young, bro, it's really nasty. I mean, the guy literally is doing everything he can for the team. I think it was like 3 years in a row he wasn't named an official All-Star when he averaged at least 25 and 10, I want to say.
27 and 11 this year.
27-11 this year, not a starter. I mean, I do understand D-Mitch going crazy, and he also, I think, in the fan vote, I want to say Trae Young ended second. But all I'm going to say is, I understand rivalries was building the playoffs. I understand, like, all right, New York hated Trae Young. He came in your trap, took it over. Cool, whatever. But what else does people hate about Trae Young?
It's so overdone.
I don't understand.
I don't get it at this point. Like,
I don't get it.
It was funny the first time, or the first 2 years. It was like, oh, it was funny. It's been 3 years, and they're still making the same chant.
Shit is crazy. Yeah, it's not even like the Knicks were supposed to, like, they were like title favorites. Like they were the surprise team that randomly made the playoffs.
Exactly.
Like it's like they feel entitled that like that was supposed to be their run, as if Joel Embiid wasn't gonna run through them in the second round anyways.
It's not even the
Like,
same
yeah,
team. Like it's
Yeah,
they don't even have the same team. We kind of do, but
well,
actually
not
we
really.
That's
well not really. Actually, I mean we have Trey, Clint, DeAndre Hunter, and Bogey, and a couple others, but they don't the main not villain, but like Nerlens Noel was one of the reasons that series was relevant because he bumped Trey at halftime, and then that whole happened. That all happened with Solomon Hill. Shout out Solomon Hill. Actually, no, 'cause
Solomon
LeBron-
Hill.
No, I hate
He
Sean.
hurt LeBron. Never mind.
Yeah, shot
But
Pelicans
But,
legend.
yeah.
just dumb.
That I just don't understand the Trae Young hate, but it shows like, and you kind of saw it in the football season, like when Aaron Rodgers came over, like how like everything was damn near about the Jets, and even when they was about to make the playoffs, you saw TV shows still talking about the Jets. That's how powerful New York media is. And
Yeah.
I don't know what type of devil magic they got over there, but that shit is strong as hell. Even still talking about the Hawks. I don't know what we're gonna do with Trey and DeJounte. I mean,
I
I
want
fought with Murray, but it's just blow the roster up, man.
I want Trey to go wherever besides New York and win a ring. I want him to go leave here, have success, because clearly this franchise doesn't care about him. Go do your thing in LA. I'd love to have him on the Lakers. I mean, that'd be perfect, honestly, for me. I'd love that. If somehow he end up in Boston, cool. Get me a Trae Young Celtics jersey for sure. Like, he doesn't deserve this. It sucks, and he gets all the blame for it too.
Yep.
And also, I don't want to I can't sell out my people short, but it is Black History Month. Shout out to every black person everywhere in the United States of America. Hearing it, gotta do my people right.
Yeah, except for Karl Malone.
Jesus Christ. But I do want to say, we still got a rough some areas in the United States. Some areas don't, but there's still racism going on. Keep your head up high. As black people, we always gotta do two things. We always gotta do twice as much just to get us ahead. The shit is sad, but we gotta correct shit. We gotta correct shit in our own community too, man. But that's all I really want to say.
Respect.
I don't think sports really.
Yeah. Speaking about improving your community, Tuscaloosa. Nick Saban is now joining College Game Day.
Jesus. Crazy.
Wow.
That is true.
And, hey, I get to see it. It's like you never left. Get to see him on my TV screen every Saturday again.
No,
remember what he did? Like what Kobe had did those little episodes, like when he was breaking it down.
Yeah.
I hope he does that again. Like that was good.
I'll be doing it for 3 hours now. But the one thing that I realized, and respecting Nick Saban, he got the last laugh. Whenever David Pollock said that to him, it wasn't even the fact that he beat Georgia. It was he beat Georgia the next year after Pollock said that to him, and then took Pollock's job.
Took his job.
Took his job.
Yep.
So not only did he beat his team, he took his job too. So I tweeted that. I didn't get too many likes because I have a lot of Georgia followers, but I was like, respect. I see what you did. Respect. You got the last laugh.
Nasty work. Oh yeah. Also, shout out Auburn for whipping Bama's ass. I think 2 nights ago. I know the Thito shit was kind of crazy. It was 40-50. Niggas was twerking, but I was like, hey, you got the dub, man.
Hey, don't worry, Matt. We got you. We got you back. Coming up, we got you. We suck.
So also,
next,
we're gonna find out in a couple weeks on the tournament. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, y'all.
I'm not gonna lie.
I won't.
I'm not gonna lie. Until Colin Sexton, I had no idea that Alabama had a basketball program. Not in the slightest. Never heard of it.
That's because they.
Jesus.
Shit, my squad's #1 right now, and I barely watched any college hoops. Fuck. This is the first time in This is the first time in like 15 years where UConn's won the tournament and they haven't completely fallen off.
Yeah, it's true.
I got that.
Um,
What was it? I got the Shabazz Napier championship hat up in my room. That shit it's old.
Sick.
Yeah, no, and then the next year they had a losing record. So everybody left.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Call them
Trying
TCU.
to think. Jesus. But yeah, after Sunday, I mean, it's really starting spring ball. Like JC said, softball starting up.
No.
But a
lot of
The main
colleges.
sport. The main sport. We got
Game
that.
baseball. We're gonna
Oh,
try to.
We back.
Oh shit, that's right. Baseball season starts.
We back, baby.
We're gonna try to get some. We got a lot of baseball heads that we're gonna try to get up on here, get on the pod, talk some baseball.
So
Draft is coming up soon.
yeah,
That's gonna
can't
be
wait to talk about
interesting.
that.
Jaden Daniels.
I saw a report. There was a couple of scouts really liking JJ McCarthy. We're gonna get into that in the spring.
I heard the Patriots were.
Hey, don't you?
I can wish whatever I want on your franchise, okay, buddy?
Hey,
You put me 35
I'll
years
wish,
back.
I'll wish you.
You don't have to wish anything.
I'll wish you a trade.
It
I'll
happened.
wish you a trade for Justin Fields.
What you wish for happened, okay? You don't have to wish for anything.
No, I got one more wish left in me.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of talking. There's gonna be a lot of chatter going on in the next couple weeks. Draft talk. Well, we're probably gonna do a mock draft. Also we probably on the next podcast we're probably gonna do a little fun game. I think we was doing in the spaces a couple weeks ago. Draft.
Ooh, yeah.
We're gonna come out with one. What else? Like I said, drafts coming on.
You know what we could do?
Baseball coming around the
Baseball.
corner.
Hey, still got spring football.
We could
Oh, yeah, spring football for sure.
do a fantasy league, like for the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantasy what?
Baseball, but
Oh, I can't do fantasy baseball.
I mean it is super
That's
long, but just
Too long. That's
It is.
dude.
Just
My
idea.
dad's been doing it for like 10+ years. I don't know how he does it.
I'd do it. That's
It's a lot.
another topic
It is a
we
lot.
want to talk
It's a
about.
lot.
But yeah, we probably do something. Yeah. Spring football. That is also one thing. I don't know if too many people really familiar with spring football, but go DC.
Oh, they're gonna know. Oh, go DC Defenders, babe.
DC
Best
Defenders.
team in the
man.
league.
Mm-mm.
Best team.
Birmingham
In the league.
Stallions. Come on, man. Birmingham.
Easy.
Damn, that's crazy. Chan repping something from Alabama.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Hey, I went to college in Alabama, man.
That's true.
Crazy.
Go Cox. No pause.
Like I said, I'm trying to think of anything else.
There,
Couple more months. The Olympics is going to be starting up.
That's true.
That's going to be something.
all the,
Today the women's basketball was just competing, and also keeping up. They got baseball and also men's soccer competing to be in the Olympics, trying to get those quarterfinals and going on. So that's
There-
something to be excited about.
there's a final in baseball coming up. It's the Caribbean series. I don't know who won tonight.
Mhm.
It was
It's Venezuela versus Dominican.
did
That's
Venezuela
going to be
win?
the champ.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they won. They're going to be it.
That's
I don't know for the
that's Ronnie's
soccer. I know
country.
Brazil won today. I know Brazil got to win. They got to play Argentina. I think that's going to be on Saturday. That's going to be a good game.
Okay.
But,
oh yeah, there is
yeah.
one thing we could talk about it next time for what happens, but in the NCAA, I can't remember what college it was, but they have started to name their college
the Big
athletes
Ten.
employees.
Oh,
And
Okay.
if that's
Yep.
the case, that's huge. Now, I couldn't tell you why it's huge, but I know it's huge. So I'd have to do more research on it on why it's exactly huge because I don't want to misspeak, but that would be massive if they started to. Well, I mean, they get benefits and stuff like that. Like they'd be an actual employee instead of just a student athlete. So
Yeah, they would have benefits and they would be guaranteed a salary.
And then we also got to talk about how it's looking like it's going to be a Power 2 instead of a Power 5 with the Big Ten and the SEC coming together and trying to get like their own.
fine.
How I don't even know what you want to say.
This
Like,
just their
yeah.
own conference. I mean, it got to be kind of
Yeah.
like the NFL. I mean, if you think about it, two conferences come
Yeah.
together, and
2 conferences, yep.
but I mean, it's nobody should take more blame than the NCAA. It's their fault. They didn't want to pay athletes, and it's all crumbled down to here. They wanted to be greedy. It's your fault.
There
all
you
your
go.
It's true.
All your fault.
I still think it's just however all the teams I see moving now, bro. I just feel like, I mean, yeah, like you don't want to pay the athletes, so like, yeah, fuck you because of that shit. I could have got some motherfucking. But also, I see how like the playoffs is and like how like everybody's mind is, where it's like, bro, like you got to get the revenue. Football's the revenue, bro. We can't compete in it, then like what the fuck we gonna do?
Well, I mean, the thing is other teams were still making revenue, but now I don't know how if the SEC and Big Ten come together, that kills a lot of revenue. I mean, people still love the sport, but it's like if you're not competing for the main thing, that's going to take the casual fan and like the casual. Obviously, people love it down south, and they always will. But I don't know. It sucks as because you love what you grew up with, but like. So I mean, nobody has more blame than the NCAA. You wanted to be greedy.
Yeah.
You didn't want players to own their name, which is crazy. First off, just to point that out, that's crazy. You can't own your last name. Crazy, but
No.
they deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, they better not take away Maction because that is a ton of fun, especially since obviously Pac-12 at night no longer a thing.
Yep.
Gotta throw on some Maction every
Well, it'll
once
be
in a while.
it'll now
Shout
it'll
out my
be,
girl Juju Walking. She's a bucket.
now it'll be Big Ten at night and the Big 12 at night. So
That's
I
true.
can actually go down with that, to be honest.
I'm fine with it. I hate it for all the athletes and the traveling. I mean, literally I think that it was like the ACC. Yeah, it was the ACC and the Big 12
ACC, yeah.
swap
Yeah.
3 of their teams that they both just got. It would make a lot of sense traveling wise, but
Yeah, the
we'll see.
Atlantic, was it Atlantic Coastal Conference? I think is
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
ACC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They got fucking Cali.
Atlantic with Cal. Shout out Cal Golden Bears.
yeah.
Is
Cal,
Stanford in the ACC?
Cal,
Football,
Stanford,
yep.
Cal, Stanford, and SMU. They should all be in the Big 12.
Jesus.
And then-
Hey, Cal football's going bowling. Next year.
Oh,
I just
are
want
they
everybody to know
turning
that.
into a bowling team?
No. They're gonna be in a bowl game. No.
Probably in the ACC. I mean, their bottom feeders are bad, but
Oh yeah.
it was,
Oh no, but they just had a. I don't know what the recruiting ranking, but they had a top 5 portal class.
I remember that when I was
'Cause
making my schedule predictions. Is Stanford gonna be the new world beaters, or gonna repeat as world beaters again?
Yeah, they are gonna upset. They're beating they're beating Florida State. I guess
Down goes Clemson, Stanford.
Stanford. The
All right.
trees.
That's what I'm saying, man. Different type of trees out there in Cali, for real. No,
Yeah.
well, y'all got anything else?
Nope.
Like I said, man, happy Black History Month. Trey should have been an all-starter instead of replacement.
Hmm.
Yep.
What else? I don't know if y'all want to do anything special for the Super Bowl. Probably do a reaction. Probably maybe after the game. Maybe I don't know. Something crazy happens like
We can
last
do
year.
some on Monday. If
That's
you
on
want.
a Monday.
We can make like a
Yeah.
video or something, since I can do
Yeah.
that now.
Yeah, I know people, especially of that call from last year. I know people was up in arms about it the day after. Like I said, we're gonna try to get some people. Y'all already know, y'all not familiar with Brother Al. He been trying to get on the podcast, talk
Brother
about sports, some baseball.
Yeah.
What's
We're gonna
up,
get some
topics?
people on, man. But yeah, I ain't got nothing.
Well, Mac, you got anything?
Nope. Except yeah, go Celtics.
Respect. Well, I guess I'll say no Hawks since we made no moves. But yeah, thank y'all for coming out. That was 2 hours 25 minutes on the dot. Not anymore, but we will see y'all next time for episode 12 with all those topics we just talked about. Who knows what it'll be, but thank y'all for coming out. Much love. Peace. Eat some chicken wings. See y'all.